will Joel Embiid ever win a championship?
I wish I had more hands.
Doc's right. Doc's right. It's hard. It's hard. And I realize Embiid was compromised all season, really. But and he gutted it out. He gave it all he could. But two things. One, even though, he played through pain, he still did what Embiid has always done, which is be one of the best big men in the league, but come up small in the biggest moments.
Yeah.
And the more things change in Philly, the more they stay the same, and he's the constant. How many people have been thrown under the Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority bus?
Go ahead, flow with it.
Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Authority is what I'm probably on when I ain't flipping the land throughout your section. How many people have been thrown under the bus?
Philadelphia, that's my residency.
How many people have been thrown under the bus over the years? Justifiably so in most cases, but it's like, dude just may not have it, man. And I'm fond of saying, just because somebody hasn't done something doesn't mean they can't or won't. Once upon a time, it was Giannis don't have what it takes to do it in the playoffs and win a championship. I mean,
what's the count though? What is the count? I want you to count because it's amazing.
The body count.
You said how many people have been thrown under the bus? Let's try to count that. Is it 10? Is it 10 people?
All right, Doc.
Name all the coaches.
Doc, Brett Brown.
Yep.
Ben Simmons.
Yep. Harden.
James Harden. Now, okay, but in fairness, now wait a minute. Okay, but in fairness, all right, I'm not gonna count Brett Brown, but Doc Rivers, James Harden, and Ben Simmons. They don't exactly have sterling reputations themselves.
Well, wait a minute.
So, I'm just saying though, like.
But how did they make the situation worse?
Okay.
So you're coming in.
I'm just saying two things can be true.
A situation. Y'all was jacked up before I got here. Oh, so it's my fault?
For sure. They didn't make it better, but for sure.
Because Nick Nurse is coming too. He'll be thrown under the bus too. Nick Nurse, he'll be thrown under the bus.
Nick Nurse? Well,
he will be.
He should. Well, he
I
should be.
I didn't say he should be. I said he will be.
Well, no, I mean
that's what they do.
But I'm just trying to figure out, like, did Buddy Hield get in the game in the third quarter or not? Like, Buddy, I don't know what his rotation. I'm not quite sure what the doctor ordered for Nick Nurse, but like that didn't make a whole lot of sense for that guy to not still be in the game. Anyway, let's see, who else? Losing Jimmy Butler. Losing Jimmy Butler was an excuse. That was an excuse.
So
point is,
Daryl Morey has been a guy there that has been a problem, right? Or has perceived as a problem.
So here's the stat.
Back in the day, you don't remember this. Al Horford was thrown under the bus too because they signed Al Horford.
Not enough spacing.
So come on, man. After a while.
And granted, his physical conditioning may not. Here's another one. His physical conditioning may not have been top shelf. He was hurt, missed a lot of time. Some said he shouldn't even been playing when the playoffs started. I feel like there was some people like, oh, he shouldn't even be playing. So I do give him credit for gutting it out. But in the final analysis, in 6 fourth quarters, 5.8 points, 23.1% from the field, 11.1% from three. I don't know, man. Process might be complete.
Say it. There you go. Say it.
I mean, it's just, I hate proclaiming what somebody is never gonna do, and maybe he does it somewhere else. Maybe he does it when he's the second best player. Oh, in Philly?
Yeah, he won't do it in Philly. I can't say he'll never win a championship because if he goes to a good situation, which he's not in, if he goes to a good situation, he may win a championship. But Philadelphia, they can never. I can't
never
even come
really,
up with a good.
can never,
Yeah,
the
right.
curl never quite,
I can't. There's not even an analogy of a team that I can really compare them to. I mean, I don't know, man. I haven't won a championship since, the 80s, the early 80s with Doc and Moses, the other Doc. The Doc who's not thrown under the bus, Doc Irvin.
No, forget a championship. They ain't been to the conference finals in 23 years.
Yeah.
Get a championship. They ain't even sniffed the conference finals.
Yeah, it's just, is it the composition of the team? Is it the need for either Embiid saying this or a general manager coach tandem saying about Embiid, he's the MVP, he's our guy, he can do all this. Our team must start with him. He's got to be the first option. We got to cater. We got to build our team around him. Is that the problem? Should they just go out and, hey, maybe there's I guess Jimmy Butler years ago was that guy, where maybe that guy should be the so-called leader of the team, and Embiid is still dynamic, still has size and can score and all that, but it's not everything goes through Joel. And maybe Ben Simmons, like we talked earlier, like Doc Rivers is not the right person to say winning is hard, because there are always these punchlines that come after that. Yeah, winning is really hard, especially when you're up 3-1 in a series, Doc. Like there's so many things you could say. But Ben Simmons, we didn't hear it from him, but sources said that Ben Simmons was frustrated that everything went through Embiid.
Sure.
So maybe he's not the right person to say it, but he was saying the right thing. That there are times, there are times in the last 10 years that it should have been more equitable, but it became so Embiid dominant that it made everybody else small. Underneath it, everybody else come up underneath their greatness.
So maybe like the Bucks, maybe they were never going to win it this year. I mean, they were never going to win it, just because of how topsy-turvy the regular season was with Embiid missing all the time he did. But you started off the conversation when I was waxing poetic about the 6-game series that had 7 games worth of drama, that hey, they cost us the 7th game. The officials cost us the 7th game. And what would the dynamic of the series, how would the complexion of the series have shifted if it were 1-1? So it's just interesting how we choose to write history, what kind of narrative we choose to construct, because this is why Doc is right. This shit, at the end of the day, this shit's just hard. Because on the Philly side of things, Embiid was hurt. Are we tired of giving him excuses? Are we tired of, blaming everybody else? Yes, but he was hurt. And the officiating was questionable, even though I, for the record, think it all evened out. I think it went both ways. On the other side, and this is why it's like the blame game has always been a challenge for me. Because implicit in the blame game is that a team is entitled to a title. That a team is supposed to do something else. As if the other team is just supposed to say, yep, it's your turn, Joel Embiid. You've been struggling long enough. Go right ahead, my man. Jalen Brunson and the Knicks are just going to give you a free pass to the semifinals. We just talked about how good the Knicks are, how good Jalen Brunson is. Maybe the Knicks just weren't going to be denied. Maybe the problem for the Sixers was just that they went up against a better team. Sometimes it's just that simple. Sometimes it ain't about how much Karl Malone and John Stockton or Charles Barkley just aren't good enough. No, this year, right. But all it takes is that one. No, you're right. And year after year, it's always something. That's what we agree on. It's always something. But a lot of times, the other team has a lot to do with it. And that's not sexy, that's not salacious, that's not controversial, that's not a hot take. It's just the thing that I think we conveniently overlook, because I don't think you can yes, two things can be true, but I don't know that you can sing the praises of the Knicks and talk about how good and how dangerous they are, and then talk about how it's a failure on the part of the 76ers.
Well,
somebody got to win, somebody got to lose.
That's true. Yeah, one team you're talking about, for me, one team I'm talking about 2024 And the other team, yes, I am going back
The
to
last
the 10
10 years. Right.
The 10 years of the process and all that stuff.
Sure.
And then it's just
Sure.
like, okay.
No, Sixers fans ain't trying to hear this shit.
Oh, yeah,
from you
another,
right now. I
another
know
person.
that. They ain't
Ooh,
trying to hear this shit.
Sam
We forgot
Hinkie.
somebody under the bus?
Sam
Sam
Hinkie.
Hinkie. Yeah.
And then Colangelo. And Colangelo's wife. Remember that, the whole thing? The whole
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, deservedly so. Like, I mean, some of these people we talk about under the bus, like, you know what? Go ahead. You know, roll over.
Hey, you know what? Listen, come on. We both know. Our wives would do it for us. Like, you know, you did what? You had a burner account? You had a burner account to stand up for me? I appreciate it. That's, you know what? That's a ride or die, man. That's good stuff right there. Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget, you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.